A Bavarian battering at the bridge, really, wasn't it? Very one-sided game in many ways.
Yeah,
Chelsea had the odd chance, but overall they were outplayed.
And I don't think anybody really came here expecting Chelsea to come here and win. It was you hopeful that they'd go into the next leg with something to play for. They've been passed off the pitch today and really taken to the cleaners. But I think the difference in quality in the final third with Gnabry, Lewandowski, Davis joining that, it was just, they were devastating. They were clinical when they had the opportunities and they really put Chelsea to the sword.
And Serge Gnabry's done for London clubs this season, hasn't he? 4 against Tottenham, two here at the Bridge.
Yeah.
All 6 goals scored in the second halves of the games. Remarkable, really.
I mean, we talked about as a player, he plays on the shoulder, don't he? He can be quiet and he's one of them, but he's developing into like a killer where he gets in 2 chances in the game after the first half and he's buried them. He looked very clinical. The only good positive I can say about Chelsea, Gary, is that they didn't play well, but they got a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, here's Gnabry's first goal here. You know, what I love about this, he's on the shoulder, little slip, and this, when he just lays that ball in there, then this cutback from Lewandowski, unbelievable. You had players queuing up here. As people be disappointed with himself, you can't discount for that because he's lost his footing. But that touch inside, what do you think there, Rudiger?
Yeah, I think Rudiger, the run from Muller here takes his eye off of Lewandowski. He normally would have just followed Lewandowski there and tried to stop that reversal pass, but the run from Muller, who knew he wasn't really going to get on the end of it, he ran to take Rudiger away, and that split second opens it up, gives Lewandowski that bit of space to make that cutback, and Gnabry with a great finish.
Joe, you were just saying there, you said one positive for Chelsea is that they had a chance. You mean they had chances in the game to score?
Yeah.
You don't mean necessarily they've got a chance.
No, listen, it's a momentous task, but I just think the only positive I can get from the game is that Chelsea didn't play well, but they still created chances.
Yeah, exactly, and it wasn't long before Gnabry made it 2-0, and then you sort of felt the worst for Chelsea, didn't you?
Yeah, this felt like the goal when they played against Tottenham. The game kind of, there's just lots of space again as per Quetta. Too much space, but I love that little one too. The way to pass, the pass appreciation, it's just perfect. Chelsea could never really get there. That back three, maybe the spacing they don't have right. Azpilicueta thinks he can get in there and nick it, but
when he goes in there, yeah, he should be stronger there. But Lewandowski's a big, great appreciation. But that pass there was a pass to say, give it back to me now. Rudiger's got to see that and get across. He has to get across there. Comes too late. And at the top level, that's what happens. Doesn't matter how quick you are, you get punished as a defender.
I felt like the game at Tottenham, didn't it? Where every time they attacked, it was bang, he was in the back of the net.
Yeah. This kid, man, Gnabry's a top player, man.
They've got a lot of top players.
And we spoke about it before, about having that mental strength to be able to come back from a little bit of a knockback in his career. When he was with Pulis at West Brom, benched, etc., gone, rehabilitated himself, and now see what he's doing out there. It's great to see.
It's times like this with Chelsea where, I mean, they've been mixed because they've got quite a few experienced players out on the pitch, but do you at that point 2-0 down, you start to think, right, do we stick or do we keep going, trying to get a goal?
Well, I think Frank done the right thing. I think 72 minutes he brought on Tammy and Willian, and then he changed the system later on and went to a 4. I mean, they needed a goal tonight. Chelsea needed to find salvage something. And when the third one went in, I think we all thought that was probably...
Just before, they did have a couple of chances. The ball got flashed across the box a couple of times for Tammy.
Yeah, I mean...
This is brilliant.
This is unbelievable.
Quick, this kid, isn't
I mean, he sucked out Christensen. Like, in that position there, you can't go to ground, can you? Lewandowski, I thought was brilliant all night. And
It's his first goal in knockout football, I think, for 8 games.
And that's a hard stat to think.
It is hard. I mean, he's got a couple of assists before that as well. I mean, he's a top class.
You can't lay down there. You go with him or take him out.
You think about, you play 3 centre-backs and they get so spread at times, and Rudiger's really the only one back there. And this Bayern team, they're so quick. I mean, how quick he gets into that space is scary.
I think you've got to credit Bayern, because when Chelsea have played with a 3 during the season, they've looked solid. The movement of these boys, the way that they interact, the 1 and 2 touch, particularly in the first 20 minutes, it was unbelielible, and they just carved Chelsea open.
Do you think they were the wrong tactics to play against Bayern Munich? I mean, it's easy to say.
No, it was the right thing.
I'm just asking.
It was the right tactics for me, but I think Chelsea have come up against a team just a level above them tonight, and I think Frank... In January, when he was looking at this game and he was thinking, right, I need a left back, I need a centre forward.
That's what he was.
Well, that was what we read, and I think today, Alonso and Giroud, are very terrific players, but I think it's a tall ask for them not being in the team and then playing a big game on the weekend and coming in to play against the quality tonight, and I think it told.
Well, he scored 6 goals in 2 games in London this season. So we can hear now from Serge Gnabry. He's with Des Kelly.
Serge, a tremendous performance. That gives you a great advantage for the return, doesn't it?
Certainly does. 3 goals ahead gives us a lot of confidence, but we need to be prepared for the second leg, and no, we can't take it not seriously enough. So it's still open, but I think we've got a good advantage.
You enjoy coming back to London, don't you? You've got 6 goals now in the English capital, 4 against the Spurs, of course, and then 2 more tonight.
Yeah, I certainly do. I've got a lot of friends here. A lot of them were in the stands tonight again, and yeah, it seems like they're giving me some kind of good power, and of course I always enjoy coming back.
It was a bit of a tactical battle in the first half. You had most of the possession, but you seemed to go up a gear after that. Did you work out something at half-time?
I think we knew we had to be patient. We had the game under control even in the first half. I think had a couple of chances with Liva and Thomas. Didn't take them, but yeah, knowing we have to be patient and we will get our chances, and in the end we took them.
You think it would be a huge obstacle now for Chelsea to climb? You've got a real grip on this.
Yeah, for sure it will be, but I think we've seen it last year with Liverpool beating Barcelona after a 3-0 advantage, I think it was. So yeah, we have to be careful. We have to go into the second leg with all our focus and try to win that one as well.
Well done tonight.
Thank you.
We've witnessed Chelsea's heaviest home defeat in European football ever, and they've now lost 8 games in all competitions this season, which is the most for 34 years.
Doesn't read well when you say it like that at all. Yeah. But I think, listen, as Joe mentioned before, the transfer market definitely didn't help Frank and his team. But what I think will be great and telling from this performance, or from this game today, is that these young players in this team have been hyped up, rightly so, this season. They've put in some very good performances. They would have seen what it's like to see top-level players close up. What it's like. This is a level above now,
and
where you've got to get to.
How should those young players respond to that? What's
They should sit and say, right, there's more hard work to be done. I'm way off. I'm not way off, but I'm a way off of getting to that level and performing like this consistently. And so we've got to raise our game on a day-to-day basis at training, which I've been to Cobham this week and seen the way that they've trained and the way that they're working. Yes, they're working very hard, but there's always a next level to get to. And you've got to have the desire to work towards that. But sometimes you've got to see it. And that's a great learning curve tonight for some of them.
Sometimes you've got to see that elsewhere it can be better.
Yeah.
Players are stronger than you, better than you.
I think
you've got to respond in the right way.
Yeah, I think, Gary, I remember the first time I played against Barcelona, and I come off the pitch realising that there's a long way to go, because there's players out there. And this team, even for the players not playing tonight, the lads were injured, watching it and seeing the level. But again, the project to be brought into it, this club now, you know, it's long term.
Yeah.
You've got these young players. If Chelsea want to get back to the top of the game, you know, you build and develop these young players, and then you add to them. Because tonight it needed a fresh number 9 striker who could stretch Bayern the other way. Yeah. It needed a bit more solidity at the back, you know, at the left back position. So I felt it needs the right additions to the squad. But I think the young lads could take from this. What they take from this, whether they get to there or not, it'll be down to them on the training ground, day to day.
But don't be disheartened. No. They can't be disheartened. They can't let this performance ruin all the good work that they've done to this season. They're in 4th position in the league. They beat Spurs, a team that will contend in for the 4th place position.
And they've lost against a really top side.
And it's a top side, good players.
OK, let's hear from the Chelsea manager. It'll be interesting to hear the thoughts of Frank Lampard. He's with Des Kelly.
Frank, was that a brutal night against some classy opposition?
Yeah, performance and result. So sometimes you have to be brutally honest about it. And so they outclassed us in pretty much every department. So it's quite sobering. Am I surprised? Well, I think we could have done more, certainly. I think the level of team that they showed that they are, hence why they challenge at the top of the Bundesliga and in the Champions League year in, year out, quality players that were on good form. Again, I'm disappointed we couldn't have done better against them, but it's a real reality check for everybody, really, individually in the dressing room. Have to take that one on the chin, look at yourself and no one else, and just look at the levels that we want to attain at this club, which this club has attained in the past, and we have to work to get back there.
Is that what we saw? Because Azpilicueta's slip, they took advantage of that. You get punished at this level, and of course they followed it straight up.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's that's a small moment, and they do that. You look at the choice of pass that Lewandowski makes, one's in, to not take the shot on, and not to say that they could have scored more maybe tonight, but we certainly could have done. Our choice of pass has to improve in the final third as well. So there's lots of elements that the players, if they've got anything about them, and I think a lot of them are up against individually, no tactics, no looking around at other parts of the team and just go, who was I up against? And those are the levels we want to attain and more. And it's it's a reality check, as I say again, of the work that needs to be done here.
We can see why Bayern are unbeaten 13 away in the Champions League. You can see that with the possession, but of course the third one, does that close the door, the Lewandowski?
I don't know. I don't want to comment too quickly on that. We'll always play with pride, and you should never say the door's closed, because our fans wouldn't accept that, and rightly so, and I wouldn't do. But I'm more worried or concerned about the bigger picture here, and how quickly can we recover for the weekend, firstly, in the Premier League, but also will we see that today and go, okay, let's understand where we need to get to for everybody here, and there's a lot to be done.
And in that return, you've got a couple of key players missing. Is that down to indiscipline? We talk about Jorginho will be suspended, and of course Alonso get the red card.
Well, yeah, Georgie's done it, I think, from talking to the ref, so you know that's unnecessary to get a yellow when you're on that yellow. And the Alonso one I haven't seen clearly. I'll have a look back at it, whether it was a pure red or not. But they're out, so we'll deal with it individually, and maybe it opens the door for some players to come in what will be tough now at Bayern. It'll be a tough test of character, which isn't the worst. The lads have to go and accept what happened tonight, go there and try and show with another opportunity they can go up against players at that level.
Thanks very much, Frank.
Thank you, Des. Thank you.
Very honest from Frank Lampard, basically saying what you guys were saying about attitude. He didn't get a clear view of the Alonso red card, so let's have a look at it.
Yeah, I think in today's game, I think it's a red retaliation, waving arms. It's silly, really. I think he's an experienced player. Came in and done well at the weekend, yeah, and you can't be doing that in the game today when there's cameras all over the place. You're going to get caught, you're going to be punished, and I thought he was punished, deservedly so.
Joe?
Yeah, listen, he's let his manager down there, you know, no doubt. I think initially, he's had 2 pops in, but I think initially when they were running from the first view, Gary, it looked like they even said something to each other. So I think there was a bit of malice and a bit of venom. But you don't expect that from your senior players on the pitch. Maybe the young lads, you could have expected from, but Marcos Alonso's a senior player. He shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have dealt with it, and he's let the team down a little bit there.
Positive word on Bayern Munich, obviously as a former player yourself. Impressive.
Very impressive. I think Hansi Flick just got the job permanently. They played really well, and I think they only really got out of reset third or fourth gear. You know, they felt like there was so much more there.
That's some great stuff.
Intensity of the press was back, which was different. The attacking players are really good. That Bayern team is, I know they give up chances at the back, but offensively they're so good.
Yeah. I mean, we were purring over some of that football up here.
Well, we've been fortunate enough to see them twice now in Champions League this year.
Both times. Probably the best 2 games they've played this season.
Yeah. They dismantled Spurs at White Lane worse than today.
Yeah.
And
12 months ago at this stage, we were talking about a domination of English football again in Europe. All of a sudden, it looks slightly different, doesn't it? All the teams are under pressure. All 3, none of them have scored yet, have they?
It's crazy. It's a big change. It swings, but I still think Liverpool get through. It's a tough game, but Liverpool come through. I think this tie's over.